When my family was drunk, I slapped the table and shouted that Lu Feifei has a scar on her inner thigh that I bit. Then when will you be my son-in-law? I'd rather be your sister-in-law than marry an ungrateful person like you. Even if every woman on earth died, I wouldn't marry you. Later, I returned from studying abroad. My parents asked me to pick her up for dinner. I went to her bar and saw her new boyfriend. Hearing I was looking for Lu Fei. Fei the man shoved me toward the door. A toad trying to eat swan meat. Everyone knows Lu Feifei is picky except for her boyfriend other. Men don't even get a glance. What's happening? Lu Feifei, ah Chen, why are you here? Not bad. I thought you had forgotten me. This man actually dares to address Miss Lu like that. What's wrong? Why such a big temper the moment you return? You know how much I went through to find you. Am I seeing things? Is this person really the usual Miss Lu? Alright, your hair is so messy. Is this wandering artist style the new trend abroad? It's all thanks to you. What does it have to do with me? I also just found out you were back. Okay, this boyfriend of yours is quite something. I came to find you and he caused me trouble and shoved me. Lu Feifei, you have great taste. Han Xuan, you touched him. Who gave you the nerve? You dared to touch him. Miss Lu, let me explain. It's not what he said. His attitude was too arrogant. And why does he get to call you by your full name? He's disrespecting you. In my anger, why him? Because I allowed it. It's none of your business what he calls me. I was still a bit angry, but hearing her say that made me feel much better. I have liked Lu Feifei for a long time. I have never seen any man dare to be so arrogant in front of Lu Feifei. Even all her past boyfriends called her Miss Lu. No one has ever been an exception. Miss Lu, I really didn't know. I didn't know he was so close to you. I'm sorry, I really didn't know. I originally wanted to teach this man a lesson, but looking at him now, how can I? Honestly, this guy is smart and must know Lu Feifei well to know that apologizing profusely is the only way now. Fine, do as you see fit. Han Xuan, tell me, how should I deal with you? I'm sorry, it's my fault. I shouldn't have acted without clarifying. Alright, stop hitting him. If you keep hitting him like this, make me look like a bully. Let's go, come back with me. If you all want to play, continue. If not, just disperse. I'm leaving. By the way, where is my phone? Miss Lu, your phone is here. Seeing the phone, the frustration of not being able to reach her earlier surged up. Lu Feifei, I called you earlier and you didn't even recognize my voice. Plus, I took a taxi and had no money, but you wouldn't pick up when I called for help. If your phone is useless, just have it recycled. Oh, it's so noisy in the private booth. Isn't it normal that I couldn't recognize your voice? What's with you anyway, returning to the country so suddenly? Is there something so important that you came looking for me this late? In the past, when I returned home for New Year, I wouldn't seek him out so eagerly. Ah Chen, could it be that you suddenly realized you like me? Coming to see me so urgently and even fighting with my ex-boyfriend. Are you trying to confess to me? Your skin is getting thicker, can't you? Take a joke. You've been in America for years and lost your sense of humor. I'm in a bad mood tonight and you dare to joke. With me, you're just asking for trouble. Tell me, why are you here? To ask you to open the door. I don't have the keys to your place. Just call my mom. Not only would someone open the door for you, they'd even line up to welcome you. Wait, no, which home are you referring to? It's not the apartment I'm living in now, is it? Yeah, why else would I look for you? I glanced at him disdainfully. What do you want at my apartment? It's so late. Even if you want a place to stay, just go to my mom's. Why look for me? Although she vaguely sensed something was wrong, she didn't want to confirm it. She'd rather be wrong. So you didn't know either. We've both been set up by your godmother. Relax, relax. I'm a victim too. I understand how you feel. What is all this? Why is it so sudden? To suddenly have to live together with Gu Chen. I can't accept this yet, not even if he is the childhood friend I grew up with. I didn't say anything at this time, just considerately gave Lu Feifei time to digest this information, standing aside, waiting quietly until someone rushed toward me aggressively and said fiercely, "Hey kid, give me the money. Are you trying to skip out on the bill?" It was the taxi driver. I suddenly remembered I was in such a hurry earlier that I didn't pay before getting out. Sorry, big brother, I'll pay you right now. I knew I was completely broke, so I turned to Lu Feifei, who was still in a daze. Pulling Feifei close to me, "Lend me some money. I'm broke and can't even afford the taxi fare. If you don't believe me, see for yourself." I turned out both my pockets in front of her and spread my hands. Lu Feifei was speechless and could only walk toward the driver. She politely said, "Sir, how much is his taxi fare? I'll pay for him." The driver sized Lu Feifei up, his eyes landing on her designer handbag. He was overjoyed. This trip was definitely not in vain. I've hit the jackpot. This girl looks like she has more money than sense. I can do whatever I want. Beautiful, this handsome young man's fare is 480. The payment code is right here. You just need to scan here. Hearing this, I stepped forward to question him. Wasn't it 48 on your meter? Where did 480 come from, man? Believe it or not, I'll report you. I was so angry I wanted to swear. Lu Feifei, however, walked up to the driver and said with excessive gentleness, "Sir, it's 480, right? I'll scan it. All right, just scan right here. I've saved the payment receipt. I believe it will come in handy very soon." The next second, the driver's smile froze and his face turned pale. He thought he could extort some money, but instead he was the one being punished. "I was wrong. Please don't report me. I have elderly parents and young children to support. What will I do if I lose my job? Please let me go." Ignoring his pleas, Lu Feifei made a phone call. Moments later, her bodyguards arrived. "This man tried to extort me. You handle it." "Don't worry, Miss Lu. I will give you a satisfactory result." After the bodyguard spoke, he ignored the driver's resistance, forcibly grabbed him and hauled him away. away. I saw the driver being led into an alley by the bodyguards, and I thought I heard faint screams. Let's go home, I nodded and got into Lu Feifei's car. With the roar of the engine, the car quickly sped away from the bar. Soon the two of us returned to Lu Feifei's luxury apartment. As I was about to pull my luggage inside, I suddenly paused. I turned to Lu Feifei to negotiate with her. Register my fingerprint, it'll be more convenient for me to open the door. No, why on earth should I give you fingerprint access? I put down my luggage and mimicked her by crossing my arms. Because I'm living here starting today, how am I supposed to come and go if you don't register my fingerprint? Then I walked over to Lu Feifei's side. I leaned in close to her ear and teased her in a low voice. Does the eldest Miss Lu intend to be my personal butler, doing nothing else but opening and closing the door for me? Live here? Who said you could live here from now on? Did you get my permission? This is my private territory. Even though we're childhood friends, that doesn't mean I welcome you to invade my private space. Godmother made me live here. Do you think I want to? Gu Chen, you said earlier that I was being schemed against by my mom. What do you mean? Is it related to this? The eldest Miss Lu is quite smart to have realized it. I nodded certainly and teased her, but I was also afraid that Lu Feifei would get angry, so I explained to her seriously, because you and I are getting engaged soon, they want us to live together to nurture our failings. Lu Feifei doubted if she had misheard. What did you say? Me and you getting engaged? What the hell is this? Anyway, that's how it is. For specific reasons, you should ask Godmother yourself. I'm a bit tired and too lazy to explain in detail. I'm very sleepy now and going to rest. Bye. After saying that, I waved at her and dragged my luggage towards the room. Lu Feifei pulled me back. Explain it clearly to me first, or you're not allowed to leave. I followed her force and lay on the sofa without speaking, just lying there to prove with my actions that I was truly exhausted. I was still as annoying as when we were kids, not having changed at all. I'll call home tomorrow. I'll have my mom take you back to the old mansion. I'll still live here. Hearing this, I sat up from the sofa, scratched my head, and said in confusion, didn't I tell you, from today on, I'm living here with you. Do you not understand? Lu Feifei countered me about the engagement. I won't agree to it. Well, since you don't agree, then go back and tell your parents and Grandpa Lu yourself. I can't make the decision. Hearing this, she frowned again. Grandpa's involved too. What kind of mess is this? Seeing that she was a bit frustrated, I suggested, why don't you just go back the night after tomorrow? If there's anything you don't understand, just ask directly. Hearing this, Lu Feifei felt a bit indignant. Why should you stay out of it? No, you have to go back with me. I spread my hands indifferently. Sure. In any case, you will have to accept the final outcome. Going back is fine too. The scene will probably be very lively. No need to worry about being bored this time. By the way, you have to go to school tomorrow morning, right? Don't forget to wake me up. What are you going to school with me for? I sat on the sofa and said to her with a smile, because starting tomorrow I'm transferring to your school. Lu Feifei stood there stunned for a long time with an "Are you serious?" expression, but I ignored her and just hummed a little tune as I went into the bathroom. After I finished washing up and changed into my pajamas, I gestured to Lu Feifei, I'm going to sleep. The next morning, although Lu Feifei was very reluctant, she couldn't just leave me behind, so she still took me to school. The school Lu Feifei attended was a prestigious noble university. The environment was so beautiful it didn't look like a school but more like a villa area. When we were still a few hundred meters from the school, I shouted, "Stop, stop, stop. Let me off right here." Lu Feifei stopped the car, looked at me puzzled and asked, "We haven't reached the school yet. Why are you getting off?" I raised an eyebrow at Lu Feifei, smiled slightly and replied, "Because I'm smart. For a popular figure on campus like you, Miss Lu. Once I enter the campus by your side, I'm afraid I won't have any peace anymore. So to avoid trouble, I'm getting off early." Lu Feifei frowned, even more confused. What was all this nonsense? Although she didn't understand what I was saying, she still didn't want to let me go. "Oh, Gu Chen, how did you become so cowardly after going abroad? Are you really afraid of trouble, or are you afraid to be with me?" As she spoke, she leaned closer to me, intending to make fun of me. Her unique fragrance lingered around tip of my nose. My ears turned red, and then with shifting eyes, I said loudly, "How is that possible?" as if I'd be afraid of them. "Lu Feifei, are you looking down on me too much?" Hearing my reply, Lu Feifei showed a slight smile. "Then let's go. Let's enter the campus together." "Fine, let's go. Whoever doesn't go is a puppy." Lu Feifei didn't speak. She just sped up and drove the car into the campus. When we reached the parking lot, I ignored Lu Feifei and got out and left. While I was wandering around the campus waiting for Lu Feifei, I didn't know where I had walked. Just as I turned around to head back, I accidentally collided head-on with a girl wearing glasses. The girl let out a soft groan from the impact, her lively eyes glistening with tears. I hurriedly looked at her and said apologetically, "I'm sorry, classmate, are you okay?" "It's okay, I wasn't looking where I was going either." "Classmate, you're new here, right? I haven't seen you on campus before. I guess you could say that." "I indeed just arrived today." "Since you're new, why don't I take you for a tour around the campus?" "Did you come alone or with someone else?" I was about to say I came with Lu Feifei, but I was still a bit annoyed and didn't want to mention her, so I replied, "I came by myself." "Thank you, sorry for the trouble, classmate. My name is Gu Chen." "By the way, how should I address you?" The girl replied with a smile, "Hello Gu Chen, my name is Zhou Miao." And so we walked and talked along the way. The atmosphere was very harmonious. Meanwhile, after Lu Feifei parked the car and walked out of the parking lot, she couldn't see me and couldn't help but frown, thinking, "Gu Chen, oh Gu Chen, you really are a handful. Did I find a fiancé or did I raise a younger brother?" brother. She sighed, stood there for a moment, and then she called my phone with her mobile. Seeing that I wasn't answering, she could only call the principal to explain the situation, and then started looking for me on campus. At this moment, my phone had long been turned off, so I didn't know that Lu Feifei was going crazy looking for me. Gu Chen, you stinky man, don't let me catch you. Zhou Miao and I were talking very congenially, and I also learned that Zhou Miao's grades were excellent and she had always been #1 in the whole school, so I casually teased her. In an aristocratic university like ours, there must be some kind of school beauty ranking, right? Looking at how beautiful you are, Zhou Miao. With your gentle personality and great grades, always getting first place, you must be the school beauty, right? Gu Chen's, thank you for your recognition. But I am indeed not the school beauty. I'm not qualified to be the school beauty. No way, even you don't count as the school beauty. Zhou Miao, if someone as beautiful as you isn't the school beauty, then wait. Could the school beauty be Lu Feifei? Hearing me say that name, Zhou Miao lowered her head and adjusted her glasses. You know her popularity in school is very high. I heard she has many boyfriends. You are also a prominent figure, although in a different grade. So you should know her, right? I know her, but we're not close. She indeed has many boyfriends. She wants to be friends with any handsome guy. Do you like her too? She's just a toxic girl. I don't like her at all. Really? I thought you were another one of Lu Feifei's admirers. When Gu Chen mentioned Lu Feifei, his face didn't show that look of admiration or longing. This Gu Chen is quite interesting. I just don't like her type. If I had to choose, I think you're better than her. What's so great about her? She just relies on being rich and pretty, but her personality is bad. Whoever likes her is unlucky. This was the first time Zhou Miao heard someone evaluate Lu Feifei like this, so she looked at me with surprise as if I were an alien. When she saw me making an expression of disgust, she couldn't help but laugh out loud. You're really interesting. She felt closer to me and the sense of distance disappeared. I quickly tried to get closer. I still don't know which class I'm in. Zhou Miao, tell me which class you're in, so I can come to visit you often in the future. After all, I just returned to the country. If there is anything I don't understand, can I come to you? Someone like Zhou Miao, who is a beautiful, smart, and capable top student, is definitely worth befriending. Making such friends is never a loss for the future. Sure, I'm in the classroom on the 3rd floor. Come find me if you have questions. I looked around. Not a single person was visible on campus. They must have all gone to class. I said to Zhou Miao. Then I won't keep you from your class. A new student like me should probably report to the principal's office. I'll find you when I'm free. I then walked toward the administration building. In the office, the principal was stunned to see me. Then he stood up and very attentively brought out fruits and drinks to entertain me. Young Master Gu, please wait a moment. He then went out to call Lu Feifei and tell her I was there. Eldest miss. Young Master Gu is in the office now. Hearing her acknowledge it, he flatteringly said, all right, you don't need to come over. Go back to your classroom first. I'll have a teacher take young Master Gu to class soon. After she hung up, the principal sighed in relief and returned. He made another phone call. Shortly, a serious man with black-rimmed glasses entered and respectfully asked, Principal, is there something you need from me? This is the new transfer student, Gu Chen. Student Gu previously attended a prestigious high school abroad. He has excellent grades. Take him to class. He is a K student for our school. Do you understand? The teacher understood the principal's meaning and led me away. Soon I followed him. The classroom door. I thought to myself, I barely held back my laughter when the principal mentioned my excellent grades. Regardless, I only came back to study with a playful mindset, so it didn't matter. The teacher led me in and told the class, this is the new transfer student, Gu Chen. Introduce yourself so everyone can get to know you. Hello everyone, I'm Gu Chen, gender male, interest female. Please take care of me from now on. Hearing such an introduction, the students all laughed and many started whispering. I looked around the room, wanting to see if there were any pretty girls. Of course, I would choose to sit next to a pretty girl. At least it would be easy on the eyes, I thought. Maybe because it's a noble school. Looking around, there really are a few pretty girls. Unfortunately, I just met Zhou Miao. Compared to her, they aren't enough. Then Teacher Wei cleared her throat and said, Gu Chen, which student do you want to sit with? As long as the other person is willing, it's fine. Once the teacher said this, the girls stood up excitedly and started chatting away. Gu Chen, come sit with me. I'll buy you breakfast every day, okay? My grades are great. Come sit with me. I'll help you with your studies and I'll buy you snacks every day. Handsome guy, you can order me around however you want. This caused others to boo her. I thought they were quite fun, so I thought for a moment and asked, who is the prettiest girl in our class? Surprisingly, everyone froze for a moment and then looked toward a certain spot. Their expressions were a bit strange. I followed their gaze and saw it was the last row by the window. Is it that the most beautiful girl isn't here today? Gu Chen must pick the best. Both seats were empty, so I smiled and walked over. I sat down in the empty seat. Teacher Wei, I'll sit here. She looked a bit odd and said awkwardly, sit there if you like. All right, quiet down. Take care of the new student and be friendly. Got it. All right, let's continue the lesson. At a time like this, no one could focus. The girls were peeking at me while the boys looked at me with scrutinizing and comparative looks. After class, bored, I went to find Lu Feifei to see her carefree life. On the 2nd floor, I went to the 2nd classroom. Looking around, I saw Lu Feifei. Damn, she was actually being all lovey-dovey with some random guy. I do have an engagement with her now. It's normal to feel a bit jealous, right? I thought. This Lu Feifei is going too far. Knowing it's my first day, and I'm not familiar with anything here. I walked so far with Joe Meow, but she didn't come look for me. She's busy being all lovey-dovey with that guy. I'm so angry, my eyes darted around and I smirked. Lu Feifei, if you're going to be like this, don't blame me for what's next, just you wait. Excuse me, classmate, could you call Lu Feifei for me? Just say her husband is looking for her, I'm counting on you. Okay, I'll go right away. Cute Meng Meng, Lu Feifei, your husband is looking for you. The noisy classroom suddenly went quiet. I could imagine everyone's eyes popping out, and a few minutes later, I saw Lu Feifei walking over expressionless, so I waved at her to show her I was here. Yu Chen, I knew it was you. You did this on purpose to cause trouble, didn't you? Lu Feifei, you were only focused on talking to another man and didn't care about me at all. When I get back to the Lu house tonight, I'm going to tell your godmother. Lu Feifei sighed and said, Gu Chen, what on earth do you want? I haven't even settled the score with you for this morning yet. You ran off as soon as we got out of the car and didn't answer your phone. Do you have any idea how hard I looked for you? After saying that, she looked at me aggrievedly. I didn't notice her resentful gaze but kept peeking behind her, and sure enough, I saw the boy who was just with Lu Feifei also following her out and looking this way, just as I thought. So with mischievous intent, I directly put my arm around her. Seeing my action, the boy's face turned red with anger and his hands were clenched in fists, but he didn't dare step forward because he remembered eldest Miss Lu's rules. He just grit his teeth in anger as he watched me take her away. I led her away from the crowd. Lu Feifei finally snapped out of it, slapped my hand off her shoulder, and then stared at me and asked, Who gave you the nerve to treat me like this? Have I been too nice to you? I'm innocent. I just saw you being so intimate with a boy and felt a bit jealous, so I came up with this plan just to intimidate that guy and make him stay away from you, and also to let the classmates know you're my fiancé. I really didn't mean it. Will you forgive me? I'll buy you a meal. Yu Chen, can you be more well-behaved from now on and stop causing trouble? I just want to attend class peacefully. Can you grant me this wish? So I quickly changed the subject. Are you hungry? Let's go eat, then we'll go to class. After saying that, I ran with Lu Feifei to the cafeteria just as we arrived. At the cafeteria, Lu Feifei saw her classmates, so she waved me off and walked towards them, leaving me alone, just as I was worrying about not finding a table. I turned around and saw a girl eating quietly, so I took the initiative to ask, Hello classmate, there are no seats left in the cafeteria. Can we share this table? She only replied with a faint okay. After sitting down, I peeked at her delicate face, thinking how beautiful she was. That cold aura of hers is really attractive. It makes one want to investigate further. I didn't speak, just finished my meal quickly and returned to the classroom. The first class in the afternoon was Chinese. At this moment, I noticed that my classmate, who hadn't appeared for a long time, finally showed up. I looked closely. Isn't this the girl from the table earlier? So I happily whispered to her, what a coincidence. We meet again. She didn't speak, just glanced at me faintly and nodded to show she remembered. Then, pushing my luck, I asked her, What's your name? I'm Gu Chen. I just transferred to this school. The girl remained silent, only frowning slightly. Seeing her ignore me made me feel a bit rebellious, and I wanted to chat with her even more. Hey beautiful, what is your name exactly? Finally, as if annoyed by my questions, she wrote Yu Xin on a piece of paper and threw it to me. Once I knew her name, I stopped bothering her. This class was practically a hypnosis session for me. It kept making me doze off. In contrast, Yu Xin sitting next to me was quite serious. I was even called on by the teacher to answer questions, finally. Class ended. As soon as the teacher left the classroom, I stretched and planned to catch up on some sleep. I lay down and slept soundly, losing all sense of time. When I was woken up by Yu Xin's pat, I realized we were the only two left in the entire classroom. Yu Xin spoke faintly. School's over, do you want to keep sleeping? Seeing my confused look, she gave a light chuckle and added, If you don't leave now, the guard will lock the doors. Are you sure you want to spend the night here? I shook my head subconsciously and quickly got up to leave. As I was about to leave the classroom, I turned back and said to Yu Xin, Thanks for the reminder. I'll head out first then. It's getting late. You should leave soon too. It's not safe for a girl to go home too late. Right after saying that, I just left. Yu Xin sat alone on the chair, staring in the direction of my departure with a smile on her face. After leaving the classroom, I planned to call Lu Feifei to ask where she was. I called her several times, but she didn't answer. What is Lu Feifei up to again? Didn't we agree to go back to the Lu family home tonight? When I finally got in touch with Lu Feifei, she said nonchalantly, I'm already at the old mansion. Hurry up. The whole family is just waiting for you to come back for dinner. Why didn't you take me with you? Lu Feifei, you're something else. Just wait until we get back to the old mansion and see how I complain about you to godmother. Just you wait. I walked to the school gate to call a taxi. While waiting, I boredly kicked stones, and then I saw Yu Xin slowly walking out from the campus. As she came out, we both froze upon seeing each other and spoke in unison. Why haven't you left yet? Just then, her driver parked the black car by the roadside, and Yu Xin was about to get in. But she saw that I was still waiting by the road. She hesitated for a moment, gathered great courage, and took the initiative to ask, Where are you going? Do you want me to give you a lift? This school is quite far from the city. No, it's fine. My car is coming soon. You should head back now. See you tomorrow. The car soon drove off. Not long after Yu Xin's car left, mine arrived. The Tanshan courtyard. After a while, I arrived at the Lu family's old mansion. I got out of the car and came to the iron gate of the villa, where I saw a row of servants servants standing in a line, shouting in unison, "Welcome back, young master." I was surprised by this display, then I reacted, waved to the servants, and walked inside. Just as I walked in, I suddenly heard a cheering sound that gave me a start. A lot of streamers fell on me. A Cheng is back. Seeing the scene of the two of us standing together, Mother Lu and the others smiled with satisfaction, then pulled us into the banquet hall. I saw that the living room was decorated very festively and many people were invited, all dressed very formally. My brow furrowed as I looked at Lu Feifei in confusion. At that moment, Lu Feifei whispered in my ear, "This is the engagement banquet Mom organized for us." Because my mom said anyway, there's no time like the present. And it just so happens that we're both back. So she decided to hold it today. I've accepted this fact now. I stopped resisting. At this moment, Lu Feifei was about to retort, but seeing guests walking toward us, she smiled and took my arm and pinched me. After the guests left, we both let go of each other. Just as we were about to bicker again, we heard Mother Lu shouting, "Ah Chen Feifei, where are you? Come quickly and look, I had a beautiful cake made for your engagement banquet. You two will definitely like it." Hearing this, I rubbed my forehead helplessly and replied, "Coming, we're coming." As I spoke, I pulled Lu Feifei toward the cake. When we arrived, we saw a 10-tier cake that was very beautiful, like a castle. It was exactly the kind of cake every girl dreams of. I stole a glance at Lu Feifei's expression. Her eyes were curved with a smile as she looked at the cake, her eyes full of joy. Then Father Lu suddenly patted my shoulder and solemnly instructed me, "Take good care of Feifei from now on. You understand, I'm entrusting her to you, you mustn't let her down." Grandpa Lu nodded, a joyful smile on his usually majestic face, and continued, "I'm satisfied just seeing you and Feifei together. As long as you two are happy together, it's better than anything else." After speaking, he also patted my shoulder. Hearing this, Lu Feifei pouted to show her dissatisfaction. "So hasn't anyone asked me if I really want to marry him?" However, seeing Grandpa's stern gaze, she didn't dare say no directly in front of so many people and could only give up. "I hereby officially announce, Ah Chen and Feifei are officially engaged. Cultivate their feelings for each other, and since they haven't graduated yet, there's no rush for them to get married for now. Once Lu Feifei graduates, they can get married abroad." Lu Feifei gave me a speechless glare from the side. "What do you mean you don't want to marry me? I haven't even looked down on you, yet you're looking down on me." Then Lu Feifei signaled me to lean in. "Ah Chen, you couldn't have been in love with me and had a crush on me all this time, right? Is that why you want to marry me so much?" My heart was already racing because of her closeness and rare gentle tone, but I didn't want to admit it, so I glanced at her, pulled away, and said, "Miss, don't be so narcissistic. Who has a crush on you? I'm being forced as well, okay? Well, since you're also unwilling, then fine, let's resist together. I believe Father Lu loves you so much that he definitely won't force you. Marry someone you don't like. You just need to go cry to Papa Lu for a bit. Papa Lu is soft-hearted, maybe you won't have to marry." Hearing the last sentence, Lu Feifei frowned and shot back unconvinced. "Then why can't it be you? Suggesting we aren't suitable, why must I be the one to bring it up?" My rebellious streak also kicked in, so I said, "I just won't bring it up. What are you going to do to me?" Then I felt it was necessary to remind her, "But no matter what, our engagement is a rock-solid fact. I suggest you'd better accept your fate." "You would actually accept your fate?" I spread my hands. "Director, I've already accepted it." "Lu Feifei, what are you worried about? If we are to officially marry, it will have to be after we both graduate. In the meantime, there might be other variables. What if we don't have to marry?" Hearing my explanation, Lu Feifei's worry turned into joy. "What do I have to worry about? If we marry, we marry. It's just one more husband, nothing bad about it." "What are you doing?" "Chen, you underestimate me too much. I see you don't understand women at all. Want to try? If we're trying, then let's try. I didn't expect you to be so proactive." "You're A Chen, since you are so enthusiastic. Then I won't be polite either." Just as I was about to continue, I suddenly felt a strong sense of being watched. I immediately let go, and we found that almost all the guests present were looking at us. My ears turned red instantly. We had just been fooling around so much that we forgot we were still at the engagement banquet. "This is really embarrassing." Kind laughter from the elders came from behind. I hurriedly pulled Lu Feifei out. "It's all your fault in public, you actually. The wall pinned me." "Great, now everyone saw it. What do you think we should do?" I replied indifferently. "What's the point of pursuing this now anyway? It's our engagement banquet. What's wrong with us being a bit intimate?" We happened to return to the luxury apartment. When we reached the door, I looked down to open it with my fingerprint. Then Lu Feifei's phone rang. "Is it mine?" Lu Feifei felt a bit of a headache seeing the caller. She had a strange bad premonition. "Hello, Feifei, I forgot to tell you something. I had someone remodel your apartment a bit. You're an engaged couple now, so you should share a room to cultivate your relationship faster." "Remodeled it? Mom, how? Did you let people in?" Just then I entered and looked around, feeling something was wrong. I looked at Lu Feifei and asked why the room had become like this. "Did a thief get in?" Lu Feifei immediately realized what was going on and chuckled. "Mom, you didn't change Ah Cheng's room too, did you?" "Of course I did, Lu's mother replied confidently. "I won't allow you to sleep in separate rooms. From now on, you'll sleep together, understand? If you don't listen, I'll send you abroad immediately. They marry early there, so see for yourselves how to handle it." I know. I bought some gifts and put them on the bed for you." Lu's mother on the other end of the phone laughed mysteriously. "Unwrap them yourselves later. I won't disturb your rest. Good night." After that, the call was immediately disconnected. Lu Feifei had a bad premonition after hearing this. Once Once we both entered the bedroom, we saw a fairly large box on the bed. What gift? I happily opened the box. Godmother is quite good to us. It's balloons. She bought a box of balloons. Why would she buy so many? Lu Feifei looked at my shocked expression and leaned in curiously. What is it? Is it worth being that curious? When she saw the contents, her face turned red and she fell silent. We looked at each other for a long while before finally sharing a smile. I looked at the box and said, there are hundreds in this box. How long will it take us to use all these? Who wants to use them with you? Why are you so conceited? Why are you shy? We're an engaged couple anyway. Gu Chen, you rogue. I played around for a bit, then I asked her, so what do we do tonight? Lu Feifei's smile instantly froze. There didn't seem to be a good way. I was silent for a moment and then suggested, it's getting late. You sleep on the bed. I'll go sleep on the sofa, it's decided. Good night, sweet dreams. Without waiting for Lu Feifei's response, I went to the living room to sleep. Early the next morning, after I finished washing up, I sat on the sofa waiting for Lu Feifei while playing on my phone to pass the time. I played for a long time but didn't see Lu Feifei come out, so I knocked on the door. Seeing no response, I pushed the door open and entered. Lu Feifei. Lu Feifei, wake up quickly. We're going to be late for school, we're late. After a short while, Lu Feifei came out of the bedroom fully dressed and said to me, let's go quickly. I nodded and then the two of us sped towards the school. Once we arrived at school, there were still 5 minutes before class. I sat in my seat and thought happily, great, I'm not late. Morning. Yu Xin replied with a faint morning and then smiled at me again. Just the slight curve of her lips made me dazed for a moment. Then the school bell rang and the teacher came in and started the lesson, beginning another boring day. Halfway through the class, I felt really restless and out of sorts, so I simply made an excuse and slipped away, planning to wander outside the school gate. When I reached the main gate and was about to leave, I was stopped by the guard. Guard uncle said in a matter-of-fact tone, student, you cannot go out. Please show your leave permit. I replied that I didn't have a leave permit. I really have some business to take care of outside. I've already cleared it with my counselor. I only recognize the leave permit. Without it, you can't leave this campus, or you can call your class teacher and have them explain it to me. That would also be fine. I was skipping class anyway if I called the counselor now. Would I even see tomorrow's sun? This guard is really strict. I didn't say anything and just left. I found a back wall and climbed right over. After getting out in a moment of impulse, I called the principal and said, hello principal, this is Gu Chen. Your school's guard is truly dedicated and responsible. After saying that, regardless of the principal's reply, I hung up and went back to the luxury apartment to catch up on sleep. Why did A Chen suddenly mention the security guard? What happened? Forget it, I'll call the security captain first and ask, hello, is this the security department? I heard your security department is very dedicated and responsible. Find out what's going on and handle this matter properly. The security captain was bewildered. Dedicated and responsible doesn't sound like he's praising us. Did someone cause trouble? They're really looking for trouble for me. I'll go see who's on duty. At worst, I'll just fire him. Even if I've misunderstood, the principal won't trouble me over a small doorman. What if someone really did cause trouble and I still kept this person? Then I wouldn't be able to bear the responsibility. The doorman who stopped me was suddenly called for a talk, and his boss spoke to him at great length. He didn't remember much of it, only this one sentence at the end. You don't need to come tomorrow. He looked at his leader in disbelief while the leader avoided his gaze, feeling very guilty. The doorman stood there dazed. Standing there blankly, he realized that just fulfilling his duty was also a mistake. At this moment, a crisp voice rang out, Uncle, what are you doing here? The doorman turned his head and saw a girl with glasses standing beside him, asking in confusion, young lady. The doorman immediately called out respectfully. Zhou Miao burst out laughing when she heard the doorman's words. I'm not some rich young lady, I'm just someone from an ordinary family. So uncle, you don't need to be so respectful to me. After hearing this, the uncle immediately realized that this girl was an ordinary person just like him. Thank you, little girl. You should study hard and strive for a brighter future ahead. Also, thank you for your concern. I'm just leaving my job. I'm just feeling a bit emotional. The uncle didn't intend to go into detail, but he couldn't resist the girl's persistent questioning and finally told her everything from start to finish. Zhou Miao frowned after hearing it and finally comforted the uncle, saying, it's all right, uncle, I know everything now. You go back and rest today. There will be an answer to this matter. Don't worry, I definitely won't let you leave. Without waiting for the uncle's reply, she ran towards the teaching building, straight to the classroom where I was. Once there, she stopped a girl about to enter the classroom. Hello, could you please call Gu Chen for me? The girl nodded and went inside. Took a look, then came back out and looked at her apologetically, replying, I'm sorry. Gu Chen is not in the classroom. Maybe you should wait a while and come back. Thank you. I understand. The next morning, I woke up feeling refreshed and followed Lu Feifei to school. I habitually took a look at the gate. I saw an unfamiliar face and was stunned for a moment. Then I didn't think much of it and entered the teaching building. I saw Zhou Miao ahead. I happily walked forward and greeted Zhou Miao, saying it's been a long time. Good morning, Zhou Miao. Hearing this, Zhou Miao muttered and ignored me, then stared at me dissatisfied. I felt uncomfortable, so I replied, what's wrong with you? Who provoked you? Tell me and I'll get revenge for you. Zhou Miao said, no one provoked me, I'm just in a bad mood. There's nothing I can do anyway. Unlike you, young Master Gu, the world revolves around you. When you're unhappy, someone always has to pay the price, don't they? Then he walked walked away without even looking back at me once. I was stunned by Zhou Miao's sarcastic attitude. It was really strange. What was that all about? I entered the classroom and sat down, feeling gloomy. Yu Xin glanced at me indifferently and took the initiative to ask, "What's wrong?" I looked at Yu Xin gratefully. "Why do you think Zhou Miao is so angry?" Yu Xin was stunned and silent for a long time. Saw her confused gaze and suddenly remembered I hadn't told her the whole story yet. This brain of mine. After listening, Yu Xin looked thoughtful. "I remember you told me earlier that you called the principal after sneaking out yesterday, right? What did you say?" I thought back and said I didn't say much. I just called the principal in the heat of the moment. I said the security staff were quite diligent. I didn't say anything else. Yu Xin sighed after a moment of silence and told me, "I guess after the principal received your call, he questioned his subordinates without knowing the full situation. Those subordinates probably misinterpreted his meaning. And as for Zhou Miao's anger, I guess he probably feels some empathy." "What do you mean?" I looked at him puzzled. "Don't you know? I was certain my relationship with Zhou Miao was quite good. Please tell me about it." So Yu Xin explained to me that because Zhou Miao's college entrance exam scores were excellent, she was scouted by the school and they gave her a very high scholarship. And the reason she accepted was because her family is very poor. Hearing this, I was surprised. Really? I think Zhou Miao's clothes don't look like a poor student's at all, but maybe it's because she looks like a lady from a prominent family. So no clothes look cheap on her. Yu Xin continued, "Of course it's true. Many people know her family background is ordinary. And she's from a single-parent family. It seems her mother was bullied by rich people while working in the past, so she is very repulsed by them. I didn't expect there to be so much juicy gossip," I thought to myself. No wonder she had that attitude toward me just now. I'm afraid she misunderstood something about me. You must have often seen boys confessing to her on campus these past few days, right? These boys are basically all second-generation rich, so naturally they were rejected. But what if it wasn't a second-generation rich boy confessing to her? Would her attitude be different? I don't know, that situation hasn't happened. Our university is an elite school. Generally, those who enter are either rich or noble. Only a few people are specially admitted because of their excellent grades. But these boys with good grades tend to be quite self-conscious. They certainly wouldn't dare confess to her. I nodded understandingly. Through Yu Xin's guidance, I gradually realized why Zhou Miao was so angry. She probably associated it with the experience of her mother being bullied. So based on what you've said, I think she probably misunderstood you, thinking you were in a bad mood, and bullied the security guard. I really didn't mean it that way. I was indeed a bit unhappy at the time, but I'm not the type of person who, just because I'm in a bad mood, would just use my status to bully others." Then Yu Xin sighed and his cold voice rang out again. "Actually, this isn't the first time I've seen this. This world is a place where the strong prey on the weak, so it's normal, regardless. I'm also responsible for this matter. I know what to do now." "What do you want to do?" Suddenly the surroundings went quiet. Looking up, we saw the teacher on the podium staring at us. "Students, you are interfering with other students' studies. If you want to talk, go outside." We glanced at each other and then honestly shut up. After class, I ran like the wind to find Zhou Miao. At the classroom door, I stopped a girl. "Hello, please help me call Zhou Miao. Just say Gu Chen is looking for her, thank you." "Oh, it's you. You came here so early today to confess." "Not bad, you're quite sincere. I have high hopes for you. I'm not here for that. Anyway, please just help me call her. Considering how handsome you are, I'll help you out. I think you have a good chance, so make sure to seize it." "Zhou Miao, there's a very handsome boy outside. He said his name is Gu Chen." I waited outside, still worried that Zhou Miao wouldn't come out, but unexpectedly she actually did. "Do you have something?" Her attitude was a bit cold, which made me feel uncomfortable, thinking she was still misunderstanding me. "Give me a few minutes, let's talk outside." So we walked out of the classroom to the open space next to the teaching building. I looked around to confirm no one was watching, then faced her and said solemnly, "Regarding that guard's matter, I didn't do it. I wasn't the one who benefited from it. Don't worry, I'll find a way to solve it. But Zhou Miao, you were too much today. You blamed me without knowing the whole story. You think that's fair to me?" After saying that, I turned to leave. Zhou Miao looked at me, shocked by my seriousness. Seeing me about to leave, she suddenly ran a few steps, took my arm and said, "I'm sorry." I paused but didn't look back. She said, "I'm sorry" again. After hearing my explanation, she knew she had wronged me. She originally thought I was like other boys, approaching her with an ulterior motive, so she subconsciously treated me as that kind of boy who uses power to bully others. She didn't expect I would explain the guard incident so seriously. Thinking of this, she suddenly smiled gently. This time I turned around and said on purpose, "Your apology. Well, I heard it, but I don't want to forgive you for now." After saying that, I shook off her hand and left. Zhou Miao stared at my back for a long time, not looking away. Then I went to the principal's office. Although the school bell had already rung, I had no time to worry about it. I burst into the principal's office and said directly, "Uncle, I have something to discuss." "I'm sorry I couldn't stop young Master Gu." The principal clutched his forehead in pain, originally angry and about to scold someone, but after seeing it was me, he immediately changed to a smile. "It's young Master Gu, what's the matter? Come over and sit down. You go out for a moment. I have some things to discuss with young Master Gu." The secretary was dumbfounded. It was probably his first time seeing the principal so close to a student like this. Snapping back to his senses, he quickly went out at the principal's signal. Instead of sitting, I walked directly to his desk, slapped it and said, "Uncle, why why did you do that? I was only praising our school's guard for being dutiful. I admit my tone was bad yesterday, but I didn't mean that. Firing him. I just told the security captain to look into the situation. I didn't say to fire him. I don't want to dismiss him. Uncles, rehire that guard and let him come back to work. Uncle, let him come back to work. He is truly dutiful. We should be proud to have such dedicated employees. The principal thought for a moment. All right then, since you've said so, I feel awkward saying anything more. Gu-chen, you shouldn't go around saying angry things to elders in a fit of rage anymore. Since you are an adult, you must learn to be responsible for your actions. I was stunned by the principal's words and began to reflect. Once I understood, I bowed to the principal and said, Uncle, this was indeed my fault. How about you give that guard a raise after hiring him back? Of course, I will pay for it in my name. After speaking, I transferred the money to the principal and left the principal's office. I walked out of the principal's office, feeling relieved that this matter was resolved. I breathed a sigh of relief and hummed a song as I walked toward the teaching building. Suddenly, I ran into Lu Fei. Wei, where are you going? Lu Fei stopped without a word, staring at me with her arms crossed for a long time. I was bewildered by her stare until she finally spoke. What did you go to the principal's office for? You went there for that Zhou Miao, right? What did you say? You know Zhou Miao? Lu Fei pursed her pink lips and said gloomily. She and I have a history. How could I not know her? Then she looked at me with disappointment. Gu Chen, you scumbag, seeing someone so beautiful, you just throw yourself at her recklessly. I finally understand now who that big sister you mentioned before was. It turns out it was Zhou Miao. And about you suddenly wanting to get off the car earlier. Wasn't it also because you saw Zhou Miao that you left me behind, right? What exactly do you mean? If you don't like me, just say so. I won't pester you. After saying this, she looked at me with teary eyes. Seeing Lu Fei cry, I felt a bit heartbroken. Then I explained gently, Fei. I didn't mean it like that. I just treat her as a friend. The video of you two pulling each other has spread throughout the school. Now everyone knows you are Zhou Miao's first boy to be treated with special regard. What video? What pulling and tugging? Lu Fei took out her phone and played a video for me. I leaned in to look, and it was actually the scene of me talking to Zhou Miao just now. But because the distance was too far, our conversation was inaudible. But our actions could be seen. Someone unaware of the truth would definitely think there is some ambiguity between us. No, you have misunderstood. What have I misunderstood? Did you go to find her? Were you pulling and tugging with her? And you said before that she gave you directions. And you wanted to thank her and take her to dinner. It's her right. You've only known her for a few days, yet you like her this much. Does she even know that you already have a girlfriend? She struck my chest repeatedly with her hands. I remained silent, suddenly feeling very tired. I wiped my face, thinking that I also felt very wronged. It was one thing to be misunderstood by Zhou Miao for no reason today, but I didn't expect even Lu Fei wouldn't trust me. Lu Fei actually, she was hiding in the corner of the stairs. She looked up, and seeing that I hadn't chased after her, she angrily buried her head in her knees. Gu Chen, you big idiot. Tears welled up and fell once again. Lu Fei suppressed her voice and cried involuntarily. How long has it been since she last cried like this? Since she was a child, she has been her family's precious treasure. When has she ever suffered such grievances? And that guy, Gu Chen, how could he do that? The more she thought, the angrier and more wronged she felt. After crying for a long time, a pair of long legs appeared into Lu Fei's blurred vision. Finally, he used his brain. He came looking for her. She was crying so miserably, just like a wronged little rabbit. Are you okay? I snapped back to reality, while Lu Fei suddenly felt a bit embarrassed, not wanting me to see her in such a pathetic state. Hey, how did you find this place? I frowned at the sound and didn't ask how long she had been hiding here crying. Lu Fei didn't answer. She stood up and then said to me, let's go. Walk outside. The two walked on the empty campus path. Since it was class time, it was deserted. Lu Fei, I asked her, do you want to go back to the classroom? She thought for a moment, shook her head and said, no, I don't want to go back. Even if I can't see, I can guess how red my eyes are. If I go back, other students will be curious. Although the campus was large, walking around was still quite conspicuous, so we both went to a small park. Then we both simultaneously said, I'm sorry, it's my fault. Both were stunned for a moment and then smiled. I'm sorry, Fei, I shouldn't have treated you like that. Actually, Zhou Miao and I are just friends. I never thought she would become a barrier between us. Also, what I said about eating with her before was just to thank her. Furthermore, about that video, I was actually already prepared to leave then. She was the one who reached out and pulled me. After that, we kept our distance. I was also wrong. I should have trusted you. Actually, I was a bit jealous too. I felt that A Cheng was too close to Zhou Miao and ignored me, which is why I was so sad. Although I'm still very angry since you eventually found me in the stairwell. You performed well. And I also misunderstood you, so we're even. I forgive you. Let's go straight home. You need to go home and ice your eyes, otherwise they'll look like a panda's tomorrow. After hearing my words, Lu Fei glared at me again. I laughed out loud and put my arm around her shoulder to go home. We tidied up at home. After a tiring day, we both just got ready and went to sleep. The next day at school, I walked to the teaching building and saw Zhou Miao's back again. So I informed Lu Fei, I'm going to say a few words to Zhou Miao. Yesterday's matter isn't finished yet. Worried she'd get angry again, I quickly added, I'll be quick. I'll be back within 5 minutes. After I finished speaking, I immediately ran over, leaving Lu Fei behind as she gave a light snort and walked to the side to wait for me. Zhou Miao, wait a second, I called out to Zhou Miao. Zhou Miao turned around and said to me with a smile, "Good morning, Gu Chen." "Good morning." Regarding the matter of the security guard. After he heard me finish, he replied in surprise, "I didn't expect you to actually go to the principal. I've already asked the principal to rehire the security guard, so you don't need to worry." Right? Zhou Miao apologized to me again, saying, "I really misunderstood you. I'm truly sorry. It's fine. It's a small matter. Well, I have to go back to class now. I'll head out first. Bye-bye." After saying that, I went to find Lu Feifei and we left together. This time, I also walked to my own classroom and parted ways with Lu Feifei. Just as I was about to enter the classroom, I saw Zhou Miao's figure passing by. It's almost class time. Why isn't Zhou Miao going back to the classroom for lessons? Only 1 minute left, so I curiously followed him. On the other side, as soon as Lu Feifei sat down, the smile on her face disappeared and she became cold again. Wu Kaiyan. Wu Kaiyan walked over tremblingly and asked carefully, "Eldest Miss." Lu Feifei's slender and long fingers tapped on the tabletop. She looked very irritable and only spoke after a long while. "Go to the second classroom on the 3rd floor and do something for me." "Yes." Wu Kaiyan responded obediently and waited for her further words. "Go and see whether Gu Chen is in the classroom right now and who he is talking to. Tell me if there is any situation. But you are not allowed to let him know of your presence. Did you hear me? Understood." Lu Feifei waved her hand. Her expression seemed to relax a bit as she revealed a smile. "I'll go right away," Wu Kaiyan said while running out of the classroom. However, she hadn't gone far from the classroom when she encountered Bai Qingrang coming up. Bai Qingrang was the most handsome boy among the sophomores and was Lu Feifei's #1 admirer, considering himself Lu Feifei's boyfriend. As soon as she saw Bai Qingrang, Wu Kaiyan quickly called out flatteringly, "Brother-in-law, are you here to find the eldest miss? She is waiting for you." Bai Qingrang's cold and fair face naturally carried a sense of distance, but once he smiled, that bit of coldness would instantly melt. He nodded and asked, "Where are you going? Are you buying something for her?" "No, the eldest miss wants me to go to the second classroom on the 3rd floor to find someone for her." "Who are you looking for?" "A man. His name is Gu Chen." Wu Kaiyan usually tried to please the men around the eldest miss, so she answered every question. "Gu Chen, what is his relationship with Lu Feifei?" Wu Kaiyan said awkwardly, "I don't know either. I'm just following the eldest miss's orders." If there was any news, she would not hide it from Bai Qingrang, although she didn't know how long he would stay by the eldest miss's side. Giving some benefits to build a relationship was a way to win him over for later use. He suddenly laughed and said to Wu Kaiyan, "I'm a bit thirsty. Go to the convenience store and buy some drinks for me first. Bring one for Sister Feifei too." Seeing Wu Kaiyan's hesitant look, Bai Qingrang glared, "Is Gu Chen important or am I? Think about it yourself." Seeing Bai Qingrang's arrogant demeanor, Wu Kaiyan thought about how favored Bai Qingrang had been lately. Maybe he would break the record, become the man who stays by Lu Feifei's side the longest. Moreover, the eldest miss didn't seem tired of him lately, and had no new target. After weighing it, she felt Bai Qingrang was more important and quickly said flatteringly, "That goes without saying, of course you are the most important. I'll go buy them right away, don't worry, with me here. Sister Feifei won't be angry. It's not too late to find that Gu Chen after buying the drinks, of course. Brother-in-law, 1 word from you is worth 10 from others. Okay, hurry up and go, stop talking." Watching Wu Kaiyan walk away toward the store, Bai Qingrang withdrew his gaze and walked slowly toward the classroom. "Sister Feifei." As soon as he entered, he walked toward Lu Feifei. The desk next to Lu Feifei was always empty, specially reserved for her friends. Bai Qingrang sat on the chair beside her, put his arm around her shoulder and leaned close to her familiarly. Not hearing a response from Lu Feifei, he noticed the strange atmosphere in the classroom. Looking up at Lu Feifei's expressionless face, he couldn't help but be startled. He asked with a caring look, "Sister Feifei, what's wrong? Who made you angry?" Lu Feifei was already a bit irritable, and seeing him arrive only made her more annoyed. "Why are you here?" "I missed you," Bai Qingrang said, staring at her affectionately, but Lu Feifei didn't notice. Her mind seemed to be preoccupied by something. In Bai Qingrang's heart, he was dissatisfied but didn't dare to show it. A man's intuition told him, that Lu Feifei must be thinking about Gu Chen. After a moment, Wuxian returned with drinks, stopping at the door out of breath to catch her breath with both hands, holding a bottle of drink each as she walked over. "Eldest miss, your drink," she said, placing the drinks in front of them. Lu Feifei's gaze moved from the drinks to Wuxian's face. "Did I ask you to buy drinks? I was the one who told her to buy them. I was worried about you and afraid you were thirsty." The air seemed to freeze for half a second. Suddenly, Lu Feifei gave him a distant glance and said heartlessly, "Get out of my sight. I don't want to see you again." Bai Qingrang looked at her with both shock and disbelief, as if he never expected her to get so angry. "Sister Feifei, I know. I was wrong. Don't chase me away." However, he had miscalculated. Lu Feifei was in no mood to coax him. "Don't make me say it a second time. The thing I just told you to do, is it done yet?" "No." "Eldest miss, please don't be angry. I'll go right now." Bai Qingrang looked at Lu Feifei and said, "So what you meant just now was, you want to break up with me?" It was as if he had to ask clearly to believe it was true. "Yes," Lu Feifei nodded in response. "From today onwards, don't show up in front of me again." Why? Why could she be so heartless? Although he had heard that the eldest miss was not a devoted person, she could be very good to you while dating. She was very heartless after a breakup. Don't dream that she would care about you out of past feelings, but he felt he was different. This sentence from Lu Feifei was like like a bolt from the blue for Bai Qingrang. For other boys, it was wonderful news, especially for the boys in the class, who among them hadn't struggled desperately to enter this class just to get close to the eldest miss. Now it was great. Eldest miss was single again, so they all had a chance. Thus they weren't polite to Bai Qingrang anymore and even mocked him. Get out. How can you be so shameless? The eldest miss told you to leave, yet you're still pestering her so shamelessly. Leave quickly. You're not allowed in our class from now on. Can't you see Lu Feifei is disgusted by you? Who do you think you are? Get out quickly. Don't be an eyesore to Lu Feifei here. Bai Qingrang's face turned pale. He had never endured such humiliation. Since entering Shangde, he was handsome, and due to a stroke of luck, he quickly became the eldest miss's boyfriend and consequently the new school hunk, because Shangde has an unwritten rule that the eldest miss's boyfriend is default the school hunk. He had always enjoyed this honor, feeling like the center of attention, but having been put on such a high pedestal, he was now falling just as hard. Bai Qingrang finally couldn't bear these mean words and ran straight out. Lu Feifei didn't even spare him a look, but her calm gaze swept around, and immediately everyone shut up. She felt very uneasy now, an indescribable uneasiness for reasons she didn't know. She couldn't help but think about it, and just as she was about to get up, Wu Kaiyan already ran over in a hurry. Eldest miss, the person you asked me to find isn't in class. I asked his classmates and they said he just entered the classroom and immediately left and hasn't come back since. Lu Feifei said with a distant tone. What? He didn't return to class? Then where did he go? No wonder I kept feeling so uneasy. My bad premonition has come true. I'm not sure about that either, Wu Kaiyan thought, feeling puzzled. What exactly was the relationship between this boy named Gu Chen and Lu Feifei that could make Lu Feifei care so much? Lu Feifei frowned and stood up. She said, find him even if you have to search the entire school. Could this guy have offended Lu Feifei? It was also the first time seeing Lu Feifei lose her temper like this. With her expression looking this bad, cold sweat dripped from Wu Kaiyan's forehead as she thought. Classmates watching in the classroom were all filled with confusion, curious about what happened and who the eldest miss was looking for, but no one dared to ask or make a sound. At this moment, the eldest miss emitted a cold and distant aura. After Lu Feifei left the classroom, everyone looked at each other and discussed in low voices. Did you see? The eldest miss's face is so gloomy. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen her this angry before. Do you think the person she's looking for did something to anger her? It looks like that person is in trouble. When Lu Feifei loses her temper, it's terrifying. Exactly. The reason Wu Kaiyan could become the eldest miss's follower was that besides being a sycophant, her efficiency was very high. She quickly went to the security guard to inquire about it. Lu Feifei was feeling anxious in the corridor, not knowing what to do. So she found a classroom to sit in and wait for Wu Kaiyan to return. Wu Kaiyan reported that no student had left the school, so Gu Chen was still inside. Lu Feifei's expression softened slightly, and she ordered Wu Kaiyan to search the entire campus as she said. They had to find Gu Chen no matter what. Given Lu Feifei's power, finding someone shouldn't be difficult. It should be an easy task. Surprisingly, they couldn't find Gu Chen, so she glared angrily at Wu Kaiyan. How could he not be found? Wu Kaiyan broke into a cold sweat but didn't dare wipe it, speaking timidly. We've searched everywhere, even offices and dorms, but he's not here. He might not be at school anymore. Not at school. Does he have wings to fly away? The guards didn't see him leave. If he's not in school, where else could he go? Miss, I don't know. Maybe he found another way to leave unseen or didn't. Leave through the main gate. Lu Feifei pondered. He had just arrived at Shangde. He shouldn't know any other exits, although she said that this was the only reasonable explanation. Otherwise, how could Gu Chen vanish? I don't believe in ghosts or supernatural events. Gu Chen didn't tell me where he was going. He just disappeared inexplicably like that. What if something happened? She feared an accident and didn't dare think further. Wu Kaiyan knew almost everything about the school, so she quickly spoke up. Is there another way out? Right, eldest miss, doesn't the school have surveillance footage? We might find clues there. Lu Feifei had forgotten this and nodded in agreement. Let's go check the surveillance footage now. Wu Kaiyan looked at her awkwardly and said, but only the principal has the authority to view the footage. I'm not qualified to go and check the surveillance footage, so only the eldest miss can do it herself. Lu Feifei said calmly, understood, and walked towards the principal's office. Wu Kaiyan hurriedly followed. In the principal's office, the chair behind the desk was taken over by Lu Feifei. Miss Lu, this is the school's surveillance system. There are a total of 300 surveillance points you can check at will. 300? There are actually so many. Lu Feifei frowned. Seeing her expression, Wu Kaiyan knew what she meant and stepped forward, saying, eldest miss, why don't I search for it? No need. I'll do it myself. Wu Kaiyan was a bit stunned but didn't dare say anything, so she stepped back and stood behind to wait for orders. Lu Feifei's slender fingers skillfully tapped on the keyboard. Even though it was her first time using this system, she seemed very familiar with it, not asking the principal how to operate it, and was able to control it proficiently herself. Wu Kaiyan watched dumbfounded. Although the eldest Miss's computer skills were only at the level of playing games, she operated it as if she knew it like the back of her hand. Wu Kaiyan had followed the eldest Miss for so long, yet she never knew the eldest Miss was actually this capable. Soon, Lu Feifei pulled up the locations Wu Kaiyan mentioned and displayed 6 videos at the same time. Time was fast-forwarded. She seemed to read 10 lines at a glance, staring at the videos without blinking. Standing behind, Wu Kaiyan's eyes were getting blurry. After watching for 10 minutes, she felt her eyes were sore and dry, but Lu Feifei seemed completely unaffected and increased the speed again. After another 10 minutes, she was still staring at the videos when Lu Feifei suddenly shouted, "Found it." Wu Kaiyan was startled. She hurried to the screen. In the surveillance footage, I was leisurely walking out from a path on the school's back mountain, holding a bottle of recently bought soda, looking very relaxed. Lu Feifei tapped the desk hard. Her tense face finally relaxed a bit and she cursed in a low voice, both angry and laughing. "He actually hid in the back mountain. Gu Chen, you bastard. Made me go crazy searching for you." Looking at the eldest Mrs. anxious and annoyed appearance, Wu Kaiyan couldn't help but ask softly, "Translation missing. Translation 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 missing. On the wedding day, Lu Feifei, dressed in a pure white wedding dress, looked at me with curved eyes full of tenderness. I held her hand and made a solemn promise amidst the blessings of friends and family. "Lu Feifei, we have been arguing since we were kids, and I thought we would always be rivals. Now I realize that you are the person I want to cherish the most in my life. We'll take good care of you from now on, and we will never be apart for the rest of our lives." "Gu Chen, I do." Lu Feifei responded with a smile, her eyes moist. Lu's father, mother, and grandfather sat in the audience with faces full of relief, while the family servants also smiled and clapped. Zhou Miao and Yu Xin, as guests, also offered their most sincere blessings, and after marriage, we remained as sweet as when we were dating. Occasionally, I think of the funny things we argued about as kids. I finally understand that the best love isn't just a passionate encounter, but rather childhood companionship, wanting to spend a lifetime together after bickering. From then on, Lu Feifei and I stayed together, living earnestly and cherishing each other. We turned our days into the happiest version of life together.